for from a startup's perspective. And as I told, because many of you are working with some or other kind of bioresource as well, we'll try to understand whether it falls under the purview of the National Biodiversity Act. So let me walk you through this journey of first creating the IP awareness. Yeah. So before we venture actually in understanding what exactly intellectual property is, why it has become so important to know about intellectual property, that we have to understand, we have to acknowledge that intellectual property is very important. We cannot ignore it, whether you are a startup, whether you are an individual, or whether you are a big conglomerate of companies, MNCs, or whatever. At every stage of the business, intellectual property is very important, and no one can ignore it in this knowledge economy. Because as you can see, in the pre-industrial area or the era, the component of knowledge was very less, and lots of drudgery was involved in carrying out a business. And the scene has changed. Post trade liberalization, the scene has changed, and the knowledge component has taken over. In a recent survey, which was conducted among the startups as well as the MNCs, 80% component of any business forms the intellectual property. Now, intellectual property in the forthcoming slides, I would try to explain, is not only patents or trademarks, but there are various other forms of intellectual property which are embedded in the business. And here is a quick, we'll go through trade liberalization, because we can sit here in India and we can collaborate with someone who is sitting in the US or someone sitting maybe in Brazil, where sugarcane is grown mostly. And the treaties, because we have certain treaties governing these laws. These I have just to make you aware that such kind of things occur, and there is a legal framework to carry out businesses across the borders also. So because of this, the intellectual property has become very important. And in the forthcoming slide, because due to the trade liberalization, which are the challenges which are being created for establishing a business. As you can see here, a startup, when you are an individual, even if it is in a prototype stage or even if it is in a seed stage, the startup has to be aware that they need to generate the output in the shortest possible time, in the most cost-effective manner, and they have to continuously keep improvisation, and they also need to devise a robust intellectual property so that they get the service or the product to the market, which is cheaper, which is faster than the others, and it is of course better than what else the other startups or other individuals or other companies are proposing. So the startup founders have to be very agile in understanding all the market pulse, all the market trends. Now, as I told you, I would like to keep the session interactive, and this slide is just to know whether any of you have heard about the words a patent or a trademark. Any of you?
Hello, anybody from the participants?
Yes, ma'am. We know about patents and IP.
Acha. I'm so glad to know that. Anyone else? Because the confusion should not be there in the minds of the founders, that what exactly are the IPR tools. So if we know that these are the things, if this type of confusion is there, then the first thing is we need to sort out this thing. We need to understand what are the different rights or intellectual properties we can protect. So the first part of the presentation majorly is about understanding the intellectual property which is embedded in a business. Now, when we say about intellectual property, let me tell you, intellectual property is something which is creation of the human mind. You cannot see with your eyes. Like when we talk about tangible property, that is a piece of land or a piece of jewelry which you can just trade off and create money. It is as simple as that with tangible property, which we can see with our eyes. But with intangible property, with intellectual property, things are a bit complex. You need to understand what intellectual property is there and how to protect that intellectual property, because all types of intellectual property, suppose it is a patent or an invention or a design or a literary work or simply a machine design, cannot be patent, not a single solution is available for protecting that intellectual property. So we need to understand what kind of property is protected by which kind of IPR tool. So before I explain that, let me tell you, again, this intellectual property protection can be classified into two types. So a business has intangible, like a business has, you can have registered intellectual properties, and you can have non-registered forms of intellectual property. Because as we understand, startups do work in a resource constrained environment, because there is a lack of manpower, there is a lack of maybe there are lack of resources which we need to overcome. And in that scenario, in that framework, we need to protect our intellectual property. So we have to be very clear in our to go for the registered type of intellectual property, or we can continue with the non-registered forms of IP. So which are the, first let us try to understand what are the non-registered forms of IP. So most of us, or I'm not sure, but we must have heard about the word trade secret. Okay, so anything which a business is able to keep, or a client we are able to keep as a secret, which it does not need any formal administrative procedure. You can just, if you are capable of keeping any process or any client list or any technology know-how, if you are sure that you can keep it as a secret for a long time, even if the startup 5 years, 7 years, 10 years down the line, it has gained some momentum, and at that stage some employee leaves your startup, then at that time how, like, you have to understand the advantages and disadvantages of all types of intellectual property. So the non-registered forms of IP consist of the trade secrets, then any technology know-how, or as simple as an NDA, that is a non-disclosure agreement. Because as I can see here, there's one startup which is dealing with device for converting seawater to soft water, which the fishermen. So if you are discussing your prototype or your type of the process or the design which is in your mind with someone, you need to like have a non-disclosure agreement signed with that party in place, because these things are going to matter a few years down the line. It is very important for a startup to have a short time vision, and as well as they also need to think 8 years, 10 years down the line. Of course, I'll be discussing this in detail in further slides. So NDA, then the client list or the supply chain or market understanding or employee contracts have to be very well drafted. Supply chain, then value chain, everything which you create by your day-to-day activities, they form the non-registered forms of intellectual property. So these non-registered forms of intellectual property is something which is at your disposal, and you are the one who are responsible for protecting this thing from others. Okay, so these non-registered forms of IP are they do not there's no investment, there's no formalities to be completed with either any of the offices. But if you, these are, as I told, are okay from for a short vision, maybe till 5 years down the line, you can rely on non-registered forms of IP. But once the startup gets some momentum, it becomes very important to have something in hand which is more formal, which has some value if something goes in the court of law, that again I will be explaining in the forthcoming slides. And at that time, these registered forms of IP adds lots of value to the business. Now, what are these registered forms of IP? There are several types, there are several IPR tools which can be used for registering your IP. But from a startup perspective, I would be discussing the major ones are patents, trademarks from a startup perspective. Then few others are there like designs, copyrights, GIs, which I don't think are needed to be discussed at this platform. But if anyone is particularly interested, you can put your queries ahead and I'd be happy to answer this question as well. But let us start with patents first. Now, most of us have heard the word patent because even if you do not intend to file a patent maybe a few years down the line, but a founder has to be aware. Please keep yourself sensitized regarding all forms of intellectual property. If you succeed in the business, that is very important for a founder because as the earlier business was being done, there was a single direction in which envisaged, but you never know in today's global economy, so many spin-offs come off through the business. So a founder has to be very well aware. So patent is a very, I would say, complex kind of intellectual property right, which has very stringent thresholds of an invention or some process or some product, and it has to satisfy. I'll just maybe move to the second slide. Yeah, so an invention or a process or a product has to qualify these three major, which you can see on my screen, these three major thresholds, that it has to be novel. Okay, novelty as in it, something that should not be present in the state of the art, that is the current that is in the prior art or the current art. So it has to be novel over the existing things. Then it has to be non-obvious. I will not go in detail of explaining this thing because this is just for creating some basic awareness about patentability threshold. So non-obvious is, it should not be very obvious that I can see something and I can just mix two components of it and create. So it has to be a little bit, it has to be non-obvious to a person who is already skilled in that he should get to learn something new from that application. That is a non-obviousness. And of course, capable of industrial application. Like if I devise a method to play chess, that will not be patentable because I cannot replicate it or cannot produce it in the industry. So it should be capable of industrial application, that it should be reproduced in the industry. Okay, and apart from this, of course, technical advancement or economic significance or environment friendly or something which you can add from your side, some intellectual input from your side, it may again form the patentable invention. Now patents, so as you can see from here, patent has a stringent threshold which is difficult to qualify. So I would suggest if you have a very innovative process in hand, suppose, or if you have a product or a machine which you think is very novel and very different from whatever existing prior art, you can always go for filing a patent. As I can see from this, there's someone who's trying to convert, like propagating a device, and then there is a motor engine machine someone is trying to make, and there is a textile fabric stain remover, so that if it is environment friendly, if it does not generate any toxic waste, and if you think it is capable of attracting investors, you can always try and think about filing a patent application. Okay, so these are basics about patent. Now the second thing which becomes very important from a startup perspective is trademarks. Now, all of us know what exactly is a trademark because we keep on seeing these Parle-G or Coca-Cola or Amul ice cream. So what comes to your mind when you think about Amul ice cream is the quality of the ice creams or the taste you like. And so this kind of brand loyalty, the objective of trademark is to generate a brand loyalty. So of course, that will be coming in the forthcoming slide. So this slide is meant for making you aware about the basics of the trademark. So trademark Okay, and patents is valid only for a period of 20 years from the date of filing. So you write on your invention through a patent for 20 years only. Okay, so that is one drawback of filing, like having a patent application. But when you think about filing a trademark applications are like, if you're filed for a trademark application, it becomes your perpetual kind of intellectual property, because no one can take the trademark away from you. What you need to do is, once it is registered, you just have to go on renewing the trademark after every 10 years. And as the mark becomes, as value gets added to the mark, it becomes, the business like creates a kind of brand loyalty amongst the customers. So that is about trademarks. And just briefly, let me tell about designs. Design is something where we can protect the outer design of maybe a chair, or no, suppose I think someone is trying to food storage, FPO. So if you, that type of design, if you think it is different from whatever existing in the market, that type of subject matter can go for design protection. Okay, and design protections are not as stringent as patents, because designs just in like the examiner judges it from the outside. He just compares with the existing ones. It doesn't, the examination procedure is not very complicated, and the registration is accorded. It is for 10 years. So you need to leverage. Beyond that, it cannot be extended. So you need to leverage. You have your monopoly on your design for 10 years. So I think I have like the patents, trademark designs are relevant from a startup point of view, and no other, and of course the non-registered forms of IP for a short period of time, but for a longer period of time to sustain in the market, you need to have the registered forms of IP. Why they are required? Of course, we would be going in detail of these in the forthcoming slides. Now let me move to the next slide, and this again is some details of all the trade secrets. I told you that this trade secret can be for a process or composition or anything you feel ki, all of us know that Coca-Cola, the manufacturing formula for Coca-Cola does not have any patent. It has been protected through trade secrets through generations. Your capability has to be there, that you are capable of protecting your trade secret with that vigilance. I think they might have designed, but in today's world, when the employees keep hopping from one company to another, from one startup to another, it is very difficult to maintain a trade secret for a long period of time. So it depends on the call which you take in this regard. Of course, it does not require any kind of expenditure. That is a plus point. Now, these are covered. Okay, so when we talk about the registered forms of intellectual property, it is well understood that a startup often works with resource constraint in a resource constraint environment, and the government also understands this thing, and various schemes are coming up for taking care of or inculcating the startup culture in India. As we know, last 3-4 years have been like kind of the
Rohini madam.
Yes, yes sir.
One question please here.
Yes,
that patent for 20 years we can be enjoy the status for 20 years. Okay.
Right, sir. हाँ.
In case of this, जैसे आप example दिया अभी Coca-Cola का trade secret, उसका कुछ you can from generation to generation you can protect.
Right, sir. So trade secret, as you can, it is just a secret. There is no formal. There is no formal registration required. I mean, if I have some secret with me, it depends on my capability for how long I can sustain it without leakage to the outside world. So
but how you will protect it? Somebody will that chemical. Somebody will tomorrow it will be. They will crack the chemical.
Correct, sir. Correct. Yes.
But at that time, when I will produce, at that time, Coca-Cola can sue me.
So that is the disadvantage of trade secret. because
Okay.
you do not have any formal registration in your name, and that leads to not having any kind of monopoly over your own invention.
Okay,
So
okay.
that is the drawback with trade secrets. But
Good, good.
there's a Coca-Cola is like they are earning so much through the formula. They
Uh-huh.
might have created a very robust mechanism.
Okay.
What I have read about it, only 2 people know about the formula of Coca-Cola at a given point of time, and these 2 people, they never travel together anywhere because both of them should not die together. So that type of that extent they are taking care.
Okay.
So it depends on us because they do not want to divulge, because a patent is a disclosure of your invention in the public domain.
Oh, that is not disclosure, right?
Yeah.
That is
So
not.
trade secret is a secret for a perpetual time until you are able to keep it as a secret.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, so we need to understand the advantages and disadvantages associated with different forms of IP, and we need to take a call accordingly.
But
So
drug formulations are trade secret, coming on trade secret or patent?
So drug formulations, this is a choice of the creator.
Okay, okay.
Firstly, yeah, it is choice of a creator, but it is not possible. Drug formulation involves so many aspects, like right from the drug development, the compound, then the process, then the formulation. So all these aspects, when you put together, there's a complete chain of people involved, and it would be very difficult to keep it as a secret. So that is a complete different strategy when it comes to the drug development.
Okay, thank you, madam.
Yeah.
Thank you. Carry on,
Okay.
please.
So I would now come to the part where the government of India has intervened to handhold with the startups and in filing the formal registered intellectual properties. That scheme is called the Startup Intellectual Property Protection Scheme, and through this scheme, if you want to file a startup or an individual wants to file a patent application or a trademark application or even a design application, there are certain benefits which the government has allowed. So I'll just briefly let you know the details through the scheme. What the scheme has is a panel of facilitators to assist IP application filing. Now, let me tell you, when you intend to file an IP application, whether a patent, a trademark, or a copyright or design, whatever, there are 2 types of fees you need to pay. One is the government fee, and then the other is the professional charge, like the attorney charge. I mean, when that attorney is someone who works on your behalf with the patent office. So what happens, the government fee part is fixed, but the professional charge for filing a patent application, for filing a trademark application, or any form of IP is the range of the charge is very vast. I mean, you can be charged, if you go to a good law firm, they will charge you as good as maybe 70,000 to 80,000 rupees for filing the initial patent application. So it becomes very discouraged. A startup may get discouraged, why I would spend so much money on filing a patent application when I'm already constrained on the financial part. So here, what the government is providing is a panel of facilitators to assist IP application filings. Okay. Now, I mean, after this, I'll show you the actual panel also. So this panel of facilitators are the good professionals who are working in the field. Good facilitators, good professionals who are giving their services in this scheme, through this scheme, to the startups or the individuals. Okay, then the government bears the facilitation cost. You don't have to pay anything to these attorneys when they, which work on your behalf. The government pays whatever has been fixed as the charge to them, and the fee structure, the government fee structure. So the professional part has been taken care of. You need not pay for the professional drafting or filing or whatever services you avail from the attorney. And the government fee part has been reduced to a certain extent for an individual or a startup. I'll just let you know, for a patent application, if a large entity has to pay 8,800 rupees physical filing, so a startup has to is 1,600. For the government fee is only 1,600 for initial filing of patent application. Of course, through the prosecution route, again, suppose examination request, that is a different ballgame altogether. I will not go in details, but the fees get reduced. For suppose a trademark, initial filing of a trademark, if the government fee is 9,000, for a big entity, for a startup, it becomes only 4,500. So you can see if you avail these services, so it becomes very resource intensive for, I mean, the resource, what you can say, friendly for a startup to avail these schemes. I'll just, I wanted to show the startups to maybe let them know what others are doing. And just a minute. I'm trying to show the other, the list of facilitators for patents. Am I audible?
Yes, yes, madam, you're audible.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
My screen is not visible, it seems, right?
No, I
Okay.
think you have unshared your screen.
Yeah. Because I wanted to show,
Yes.
but I'm not. Just a minute. Yeah. So yeah. So this is the list of facilitators for patents and design. You can see here. There's a long list which is available on the Patent Office website, and you can choose anyone from this. You can discuss, you can share your concerns, share your invention, of course, and they would be happy to help you with this thing.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Okay, now. So these types are available, and I also wanted to show there are many. I'll come back to the presentation. Yeah, there is a long list of startups given on the Patent Trademark Office website who has already availed this scheme, and they have already registered their trademarks. Okay, so I would request, if you feel feasible, you can always take advantage of this scheme. This is specially meant for inculcating an innovative culture in the startups. Now let me come back to my presentation. Yeah, so here's a small slide. I just wanted to give emphasis to how intellectual property, as I told you, registered and non-registered. When a startup is in the initial, when idea stage, if feasible, you can file a patent for idea or your idea, or no, about the patent product or the process, or you need to sign. These are called SOP documents, like standard operating procedure documents, which you have in your list of to-do things, that you need to have these things in place if you're planning, if you're seeing 8 to 10 years down the line. So I would discuss it further. So idea stage, you can all these documents, NDAs or CDAs or patents. Then at the research stage, of course, if you are planning to do it alone, but I don't think it is feasible to alone do carry out all the parts of the research at your own disposal. So you can go for collaborative research. You want to test your formulation in some lab, but for that also you have to have your NDAs or agreements, or if you want to carry out the collaborative research, it has to be in place. Then the next stage would be optimization of the product or process. So again here, either you can go for a patent, an updated patent, or if you want, you can keep it as a trade secret. And then comes the most important part, because end of the day, all the startups or the objective of any business is to create money by launching the product or process in the market. So at that time, your brand or if you have licensed your technology to someone else, because that would help you earn money through your startup endeavor. So these all the documents, please be sure, even if you're in the prototype stage, you need to have everything in place on paper so that they can be executed as and when required. Okay, now coming to the most important first part, that is creating IP awareness, I think we have completed. And if you have any question, we can always address. Please feel free to ask your questions in between as well in the language of your convenience. I would be happy to answer. And let me take what type of IP strategy or how to arrive at it, because we understood now there are various forms of intellectual property which we can protect. Now, how to devise a strategy. So what is important for your startup that you only can devise, you only can evolve at a conclusion, and you can decide for yourself. So first, what you need to ask is why, what, and how to protect. Like, as I told you, even a client list or even a supplier who's supplying the material, who has agreed to supply the material at a cheaper and of a better quality. So all that forms your intellectual property. So a patent or a trademark or a trade secret or an NDA. So you need to think the objective, because whatever I have written on this slide have to be thought together, have to be given a thought together, like why and what you need to protect, then what are the industry verticals or you would be focusing at, like why, because it would help you understand your business stakeholders. Like as you say in the business, if it is B2B, like business to business, if you're offering some service to another business or some component which is useful for preparing a product for some other business, then it becomes a B2B. Or if you're directly targeting the consumers in the market, then what kind of intellectual property would be relevant from your point of view? Okay, because if it is B2C or business to consumer, you can always try to create a brand which has value. Or if it is B2B, you are trying to sell off your process, then you can maybe think of about the NDAs, as well as for a more robust protection, you can think about the patent. Okay, now again comes in picture is the business goals or objectives. Now, often it happens that a startup is in the creation stage of something. So they generally focus on a short period of, like a short-term goal. But in today's business environment, you never know what type of opportunity may crop up from anywhere. So it is very important to have a long time goal in your mind as well, and what type of IP would be required to protect or to is also important. Then the exit stage, whatever is in your mind, like it in today's environment, it does not happen that if you are trying to create a soap, you would continue with the process, with the manufacturing, with the launch, with the marketing, with the supply chain. So it may become difficult for an individual or a small startup to sustain all these stages of the value chain. So maybe you want to exit at some point of a time, like you have optimized the process and you have out-licensed that project. So this exit stage becomes very important. And you also, the startup also has to understand the possible future dynamics. Like if some offer comes, like future dynamics, as in if you would like to merge with some major soap manufacturing major in the market, or let us think beyond that. If you want to go for IPO, that is the initial public offering, like you want the public to invest in your startup. So the exit stage or the possible future investors, you need to keep in mind, because what will be valued at that time would be your IP portfolio and the business model. The current.
Madam,
Yes, sir.
Rohini madam,
Yes.
here just I am interrupt you little bit. One
Yes,
question. Mr. Arvind Garge, Mr. Arvind,
Hello, Arvind ji.
हाँ आवाज आ रही है सर, बोलिए ना.
Yes.
You just ask, put your things here before madam.
Okay.
Okay.
Hmm.
Because your model is you are replicative model, water maker.
Correct. Exactly.
Okay.
Hmm.
But your things are changed there where the filter unit is there. Okay.
हाँ.
So can you patent in this concept or in that name of water maker? Now you have to do something else because here the business model, existing stage, business goal, everything is coming. Devising the IP strategy. So how will you devise your IP strategy here? You just put this question before madam.
Correct, correct, madam. Yeah, definitely.
You
After
just
finishing the session, yeah.
no, you just now discuss with her. Okay. Because your thing is already known thing, but available in the market.
Correct.
Foreign market.
Foreign market, yeah.
Okay. But you are changing to Indian condition.
Correct.
Okay.
हाँ.
You are changing internal some device, something, okay, and you are putting your brain. So that whether it is patentable, we can devise the IP strategy for this or not. You just discuss with her. Okay.
Correct. Correct.
Interrupt her and you discuss with her. Okay.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I'm
because Yeah.
Same thing, Rohini madam. Another
Yes.
is that
Huh.
one Vinod Atkare. Vinod,
Yes, sir. Yes.
Vinod, you are present, na?
Yes, sir. I am present.
You also asked your question here, devising the IP strategy for your silo. Okay.
Yes.
You just put this question. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, if we remain interactive, I think this session would be more fruitful because then I would be
Yes.
be able to address the
Yes.
exact queries or exact concerns you people have in your mind. So as sir has told, some prototype what was that? Seawater. That is what?
Arvind ji, please explain.
yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Madam, my product is a water maker. Okay. And
Water maker, sir. Sir, you can talk in Hindi, Marathi, whichever language of your preference. I need to understand. Water maker, like water softener, you're saying.
No, not softener. म्हणजे कसं आहे की SWRO म्हणतात त्याला, म्हणजे सी वॉटर रिव्हर्स ऑस्मोसिस.
ओके.
तर हा पर्टिक्युलर युनिट जो असेल तो म्हणजे आपण बोट वरती आपल्याला तो बसवायचा आहे.
बरोबर.
तर ते जे म्हणजे काय म्हणू शकतो की ते युनिट आहे ते ऑलरेडी आपल्याला म्हणजे इंडियन मार्केटमध्ये तसं नाही आहे अवेलेबल. फॉरेन मार्केटमध्ये भरपूर त्याचं म्हणजे रिक्वायरमेंट आहे किंवा तिकडं ते वापरलं जातं. पण आपल्याकडे ते वापरलं जात नाहीये. तर त्याचं रिझन 2-3 आहेत की ते खूप कॉस्टली आहे आणि थोडं आपल्याकडची सी कंडिशन्स खूप रफ आहे. म्हणजे किंवा पोल्युटेड आहे, त्याच्यामुळे त्याचं एवढं आपल्याला इफिशियन्सी किंवा आउटपुट भेटणार नाही. तर ह्या 2 गोष्टी आहेत, कॉस्ट आणि इकडचं. तर त्याच्यासाठी आता मी काय करतोय की त्याच्यामधलं जर बघाल तुम्ही तर त्या 2-3 गोष्टी अशा आहेत त्या युनिक आहेत. म्हणजे फॉर एक्झाम्पल तो मेम्ब्रेन जो असतो ना, तर तो ग्लोबली जर बघायला गेलं तर हार्डली 2 का 3 कंपन्याच त्या मेम्ब्रेन्स बनवतात. बाकी कोण असं बनवत नाहीये. डो म्हणा किंवा दुसऱ्या ज्या कंपन्या सारख्या त्यांचं खूप. तर ते एक आहे. तर ते आपण काही इथं बनवू शकत नाही. बाकीच्या ज्या गोष्टी आहेत म्हणजे फॉर एक्झाम्पल यू कॅन से पंप असेल, त्याच्यानंतर बाकीचे जे प्री फिल्टर्स असतील त्या आपण कंडिशन्स प्रमाणे इथलं आपण ते बनवून घेणार आहोत. तर आणि ते एंटायर ती एक असेंब्ली तयार होईल आणि ती असेंब्ली आपण इकडं म्हणजे इंडियन मार्केटसाठी आपण ती घेऊन येतोय. त्याच्यामध्ये काय होईल की एक तर कॉस्टिंग कमी होईल. हा एक मेजर आपला म्हणजे त्याच्यामधला फोकस आहे आणि पोटेन्शियल तर भरपूर आहे. तर ह्याच्यासाठी आपल्याला म्हणजे स्ट्रॅटेजी कशी वापरायची, बिकॉज ऑलरेडी वॉटर मेकर ऍज सच ऍज अ प्रॉडक्ट म्हटला तर ते आयपी होऊ शकत नाहीये. ह्याच्यामधला आपलं जर जे काय असेल म्हणजे बाकीचे जे कॉम्पोनंट्स आहेत त्याच्यामध्ये युनिकनेस आणायचं काय म्हणजे होऊ शकत नाही. कारण याच्यामध्ये मॅक्सिमम काय होतं मटेरियल वगैरे जे काय असेल आणि दॅट इज अ स्टँडर्ड असतं. ते कोण म्हणजे सी वॉटरचे सस्टेन करण्यासाठी कोण स्टेनलेस स्टील वापरतं, कोण टायटॅनियम वापरतं.
करेक्ट.
तर त्याच्यामध्ये पण आपण हे काय करू शकतो. फक्त आपण ह्याच्यामध्ये मला मग कसं करता येईल म्हणजे ऍज अ हे जे आपण समजा फॉर एक्झाम्पल हा
आलं सर
लक्षात
माझं
आलं.
थोडस
हम्म.
तुम्ही जे सांगितलं त्याच्यावरनं माझ्या लक्षात असं आलंय की सर कसं आहे आता आरओ जी टेक्नॉलॉजी आहे इट इज व्हेरी वेल नोन टेक्नॉलॉजी, ठीक आहे.
बरोबर.
पण
हा.
म्हणून लोक आरओचे पेटंट फाईल करत नाहीत का? तर असं नाही.
हम्म.
एनिथिंग, आता मी तुम्हाला जी स्लाइड दाखवली,
हम्म.
सपोज ही
हम्म.
टेक्निकल ऍडव्हान्समेंट किंवा इकॉनॉमिक सिग्निफिकन्स ओव्हर एक्झिस्टिंग टेक्नॉलॉजी, याला आपण इन्व्हेंटिव्ह स्टेप म्हणतो अंडर पेटंट ऍक्ट इंडिया अँड इट इज व्हेरी वेल पेटंटेबल. पहिली गोष्ट, ठीक आहे.
ओके.
आता तुम्ही मला जे सांगितलं की हे फॉरेन आपल्या ज्या सी कंडिशन्स आहेत, यू आर कस्टमायझिंग दॅट वॉटर मेकर टू अवर सी कंडिशन्स, राईट?
बरोबर. हा.
आणि ते थोडस लेस कॉस्टली पण करण्याचं तुमचं, आय मीन इकॉनॉमिक सिग्निफिकन्स इज ऑल्सो देअर.
या.
Okay, so these two steps alone, you can, if you write them properly, if you can highlight them properly, provided की असं ऑलरेडी कोणी पेटंट केलेलं नसलं पाहिजे आधी. तर तो जो एक पहिला पार्ट आपला जो असतो की सर्चिंग द प्रायर आर्ट, म्हणजे असं काही एक्झिस्टिंग डिव्हाइस आहे का, असं तुम्ही हे केलंय का थोडस सर्च तुमच्या एंडला कधी?
नाही केलं नाही मॅडम, नाही केलं.
हा, मग सर कसं आहे की आता first thing you need to know is whatever you are proposing in the market, whether it is totally novel. Novel as in की एक्झॅक्ट तुमच्यासारखं नाहीये. म्हणजे तुम्ही जे मला सांगितलं की थोडेसे सिमिलर टाइप ऑफ आहेत, पण आपल्या कंडिशन्सला जे कस्टमाइज झालेलं आहे असं अवेलेबल नसावं, असं तुमचं म्हणणं आहे.
हो हो बरोबर.
तर इफ इट इज ट्रू, देन दिस सब्जेक्ट पेटंटेबल, म्हणजे तुम्ही इंडियन पेटंट फाईल करू शकता. आता हे पण एक ऍक्च्युअली पेटंट्स पण मध्ये पण खूप डेप्थ आहे या सब्जेक्ट मध्ये, अँड देयर आर सो मेनी अदर न्यूअन्सेस वी नीड टू टेक केअर ऑफ. पण इन्व्हेंटिव्ह स्टेप जर आहे ओव्हर द एक्झिस्टिंग प्रायर आर्ट, देन द सब्जेक्ट मॅटर बिकम्स पेटंटेबल, ठीक आहे. मग आता तुम्हाला जर याचं पेटंट तुम्हाला म्हणजे, अँड इट रिअली बिकम्स प्रॉमिसिंग इफ यू हॅव अ ग्रांटेड पेटंट ऍप्लिकेशन फॉर युअर, कारण त्याला खूप व्हॅल्यू ऍड होईल. I mean, if you want to sell it off to some prototype manufacturing, तुम्ही तुमचा फॉर्म्युला किंवा तुमचं प्रोटोटाईप मशीनचा किंवा यू कॅन, ते पुढे आपण अजून नेक्स्ट स्लाइड मध्ये मी सांगेन हाऊ वी कॅन हे. पण ऍज ऑफ युअर क्वेरी की वेदर इट इज पेटंटेबल, म्हणजे स्ट्रॅटेजी काय असायला पाहिजे याची, आयपी स्ट्रॅटेजी आय टेल यू. फर्स्ट थिंग की तुम्ही इट इज FTO नावाची गोष्ट असते, फ्रीडम टू ऑपरेट. समजा तुम्ही एखादं हे टूल बनवलं, ही मशीन बनवली, तर यू हॅव टू बी शुअर की इंडियामध्ये तशी ऑलरेडी दुसरी पेटंटेड मशीन नाहीये. बिकॉज जर तशी मशीन ऑलरेडी आहे, वॉटर मेकर तसं ऑलरेडी आहे, मिळतं जुळतं तुमच्या ह्याच्याशी, सो दॅट पर्सन कॅन कम आउट टुमॉरो अँड ही मे स्टॉप यू फ्रॉम कॅरिंग आउट एनिथिंग रिगार्डिंग मशीन.
बरोबर.
सो दॅट इज फ्रीडम टू ऑपरेट. तर ते तुमचं एकदम क्लिअर पाहिजे. फाईन. आता द नेक्स्ट स्टेप कम्स की आता तसं काही नाही आहे इंडियामध्ये, आपण असे अज्युम करू इंडियामध्ये तशी मशीन ऑलरेडी नाही आहे. ओके, मग त्या स्टेजला तुम्ही काय करू शकता, यू हॅव टू ऑप्शन्स. एक तर तुम्ही पेटंट फाईल करा किंवा नका करू. ओके, तुम्हाला ते कॉम्प्लिकेशन नकोच आहेत पेटंट फाईल करायचे, तर मग तुम्ही एक अर्ली मूव्हर ऍडव्हान्टेज घेऊन जो काय बिझनेस जनरेट करता येईल, जे काय इन्कम हे करता येईल, तुम्ही पटकन करून मोकळे वाटत ना, ठीक आहे. बिकॉज अँड इफ यू वॉन्ट टू बी अ लॉंग रन प्लेयर, you should think about filing a patent application, okay, prosecute it, and eventually generally तर inventive step असेल तर थोडं claims मागे पुढे करून हे करून you can always get it registered in the patent office. Then you have monopoly over your machine. Then nobody else can copy or nobody else can try to make this kind of machine in India.
ओके.
I mean, जर इंडियन पेटंट आहे तर इंडिया, then it is also territorial in nature. ते पुढचा पार्ट I will not go in details, but if you are Indian patent, you can stop anyone in India from working on that kind of machine or bringing it to market or whatever. So तुमच्याकडे असं, तर असं मला वाटतं. सो IP strategy depends on the call or how much you want to invest yourself in the startup. Like तुमचं लॉंग टर्म गोल असेल तर यू शुड डेफिनेटली गो फॉर अ पेटंट ऍप्लिकेशन. FTO लागेल तुम्हाला आधी, जरी तुम्हाला पेटंट ऍप्लिकेशन फाईल नाही करायचंय तरी पण यू विल नीड अ फ्रीडम टू ऑपरेट. म्हणजे उद्या जाऊन तुम्ही सगळी मेहनत केल्यानंतर एक थर्ड पार्टी येऊन तुम्हाला इन्फ्रिंजमेंटचं हे नाही करू शकत ना मग असं.
करेक्ट. ओके.
So that you need to think about, and you need to arrive at some conclusion considering your timeline or your exit stage or your business model or your objectives also.
करेक्ट.
So I think it helped.
या डेफिनेटली.
Yes.
या
So any other
Yes,
query from
yes.
anyone?
Vinod ji. Mr.
Yes.
Vinod.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yes.
Ma'am, good morning.
Good morning. Tell me.
Actually, मॅडम आम्ही एक ग्रेन आपलं धान्य असतं ना, धान्य साठवायचं आम्ही एक स्ट्रक्चर्स डिझाईन केलेलं, जे आता सध्या काय करतात छोटे व्यापारी असे घरी छोट्या गनी बॅग्स पोते किंवा अशा प्लास्टिक मध्ये स्टोअर करतो ना, त्याच्यामुळे काय होतं, धान्य हे भरपूर खराब होतं. धान्य असतील, डाळी असतील, घरामधले आपले खायचे ग्रेन्स, तर ते इंडियामध्ये 10 ते 15% लॉस होतो ग्रेन्सचा. म्हणजे आपण प्रोडक्शन करतो त्यातले 10% ग्रेन्स हे असेच वेस्ट होऊन जातात, प्रॉपर त्याला हँडलिंग ड्राईंग न केल्यामुळं. तर आम्ही एक
नाही.
छोट्या
हॅलो,
कॅपॅसिटी
हॅलो,
5 टन
हॅलो.
पर्यंत ना आम्ही एक स्टोरेज स्ट्रक्चर
Hello,
डिझाईन.
Vinod ji. एक minute.
Yes.
Don't, because time is short, don't
Yeah,
explain
yes.
all these things. You directly come to the point. You have designed a silo for storage
Yeah.
of grains. Hala, whether it can be
Yeah,
patented or not. You just tell this much, na? Okay.
Yes.
You just tell
Yes.
this much.
So,
madam.
ma'am, we designed one structure for storage of the grain, so the losses can be minimized. We are using
Sir,
You are not
Vinod ji,
audible.
your voice
to
is breaking.
improve the quality.
Vinod ji, your voice is breaking.
Yes.
Yeah.
Breaking.
Anyway, but
Okay.
what I got from whatever he has told, Mr. Vinod, that the grain storage silos are good over whatever existing in the market.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, if it allows, I mean, see, filing a patent, I mean, it can form a product patent, subject matter for a product patent if it is inventive over whatever existing in the market. So these silos, if you find are very promising, you can go for because they are good over the existing things which are there in the market, and again they are industrially, you can produce them in the industry. That is what I assume. You can create some models in the industry, and you can, so that is one type. You can attend for a patent application. There's no denying of the fact, but at the same time you also need to think whether it because enforcing a patent for such kind of design may be a bit tricky or difficult. So you can go for some other form of IP, that is the designs which is there for 10 years, and you can leverage whatever is there. So both the things you can think about, maybe finding a patent or filing the design part of the silo, because there is no complicated process as such involved, or there's no machine as such involved. That is what I assume. So prima facie, I think a patent, or if you want to go for a simpler form of intellectual property, you can go for design protection.
Okay, actually, ma'am, for us, patent is better. No, we also search on different platform like YouTube and on that. So our friends also suggesting that we have like one machine, and in different techniques, fumigation and other aeration, heating and all this. So design means just like a mechanical concept. So
okay, so you do have an embedded process in the silo.
Yeah,
like,
different processes we are using to improve our grains quality.
So that, okay, yeah, I got your point. So if there is some process in embedded in your design, then definitely you can go for filing.
And one more thing, these silos are there in market, but it is of a bigger capacity. Our silo is small, which can be used for farmers, and this is just like our invention.
Correct. So if your invention, as I told you, invention, if it is novel, you feel it is novel, you have done the prior art, you are saying at least some basic prior art search you have done, because and then it is industrially reproducible in industry, and it also has the inventive part embedded, because it is better than whatever is there in the market. There is some process involved, and You can
And
always go.
ma'am, ours is now idea stage. Means we are working on this all this design. We have finalized it, but we have to register first for startup and then go for this patent application. No.
Correct. So that is required. Startup, you need to have your startup certification if you want to avail the SIP. I mean, startup intellectual property.
We have already registered firm, but we have to go for first startup and then for this patent filing.
Correct. So if you want to leverage the
So that we can get that benefit of government scheme.
Yes. Government fees is a very small component, I would say. The reduces the fee maybe by a few thousand, but the professional fees, which is very high for filing up, because the attorneys charge like a bomb for drafting the patent applications. So that part is being taken care of by the government, and that forms a major fraction. So you should, if you're trying for, if you intend to file a patent application, you should always go through the SIP. That is what I feel. And it would be, and patents give a long term, adds a lots of value at the exit stage, or when you want to license or manufacture or sell in the market. So at every stage, patents add a lot of value. Yes. So that would be a good strategy.
Yes, ma'am. Okay. Thank you.
So should I move further?
Yes.
Anyone has any more query regarding this thing?
Yes. Anybody is having more queries?
So I'll move to the
Everybody-
next.
I request everybody, you just ask madam question in between. It's not only just a presentation, it's a two-way interaction for everybody.
Yes,
So
that would help. That
uh,
would help to achieve the goal of this.
goal. It is not a classroom teaching, it is just
Yes.
a business
Uh,
oriented.
Rohini,
Huh.
Rohini, there are 2 questions in chat box. Hemant, please read it out.
Just a second.
Yeah.
Yes, there is a question from Miss Pradnya Rane.
Mm-hmm.
Ma'am, what is the difference between copyright and patents and total cost for copyright and patent file?
Acha. So actually, this is a very broad question, Pradnya. As I told you, threshold, म्हणजे एक patent किंवा एक copyright. These are totally different types of intellectual property rights. ठीक आहे. आता पेटंट साठी I already explained की there are stringent thresholds. जर त्याच्यात तुमची इन्व्हेन्शन किंवा प्रोडक्ट क्वालिफाय झालं तरच तुम्हाला त्याचं पेटंट मिळणार, आणि पेटंट इन्व्हॉल्व्स लॉट्स ऑफ इन्व्हेस्टमेंट ऑल्सो. कारण आपण आज फाईल करू पेटंट, मग त्याच्यानंतर त्याचं प्रॉसिक्युशन रूट आहे पूर्ण. ऍट एव्हरी रूट यू नीड टू स्पेंड, अँड देन आफ्टर दॅट इट गेट्स रजिस्टर्ड. इवन आफ्टर रजिस्ट्रेशन यू हॅव टू पे. दरवर्षी तुम्हाला रिन्युअल फीस पे करावी लागते पेटंटची. सो पेटंट कसं आहे की इट इज यू नीड टू इन्व्हेस्टमेंट, or return on, I would say more proper word would be the return on invention. तर ते तुम्हाला you need to very critically think when you are going for filing a patent, कारण तुमचे पैसे सतत जाणार त्याच्यामध्ये. But at the same time, industrially patent is something which for industrial application च्या ज्या इन्व्हेन्शन्स किंवा प्रोडक्ट असतात त्याच्यासाठी आपण पेटंट करतो. कॉपीराईट टोटली डिफरंट असतं. कॉपीराईट इज ओनली फॉर लिटररी, सिनेमॅटोग्राफिक और आर्टिस्टिक वर्क्स. आणि कॉपीराईटचं कुठेच एक्झामिनेशन होत नाही. तुम्हाला दिल्ली ऑफिसला तुमचं वर्क आणि तुम्हाला फ्यू फॉर्म्स यू हॅव टू फाईल. खूप चीप आहे कॉपीराईट रजिस्ट्रेशन, आणि तुम्हाला ते देतात. अँड इट इज फॉर अ व्हेरी लॉंग टाइम, लाईक 60 years फ्रॉम द डेट ऑफ. प्रत्येकाचं वेगळं वेगळं ड्युरेशन, बट मोर ऑर लेस 60 years च्या आसपास प्रोटेक्शन मिळतं. पुस्तक असेल, पिक्चर असेल, सॉन्ग असेल, तर अशा गोष्टींना. सो आय थिंक दिस इज द डिफरन्स बिटवीन कॉपीराईट अँड पेटंट. आणि सेकंड पार्ट काय होता क्वेश्चनचा?
How much
Rohini?
cost is involved?
रोहिणी मॅडम,
हा.
त्यांचं कॉपीराईट मध्ये त्यांचं बेबी फूड आहे, बेबी फूड फॉर्म्युलेशन आहे त्यांचं.
ओके.
तर त्यासाठी ती हे प्रश्न विचारते आहे.
अच्छा, ओके. आता बेबी फूड फॉर्म्युलेशन आहे, तर आय थिंक इट इज फॉर्टिफाईड बेबी.
Yes, ma'am.
ओके. सो फॉर्टिफाईड बेबी फूड आहे, तर याच्यामध्ये कुठल्या कुठल्या टाईपचे आयपी, मी एक तुम्हाला जस्ट एक स्लाइड आहे पुढे माझी, ही बघा. कुठलंही प्रोडक्ट असतं तर एक आयपी एक पर्टिक्युलर पार्टच प्रोटेक्ट करते कुठल्याही प्रोडक्टचा. ठीक आहे. तुम्हाला असं ओव्हरऑल 360 डिग्री प्रोटेक्शन एका आयपीनी मिळत नाही तुम्हाला. मग म्हणून तुम्हाला खूप जरुरी आहे हा विचार करणं की मला माझ्या इन्व्हेन्शनचा कुठला पार्ट, प्रोसेस जास्त इम्पॉर्टंट आहे, टू गो फॉर अ पेटंट. तुम्हाला माहिती आहे की आता ही प्रोसेस कॉमन आहे, सो मेनी पीपल आर वर्किंग ऑन दिस थिंग, तर मग तुम्ही काय करा, तुमचा ब्रँड क्रिएट करा. ठीक आहे. कॉपीराईट, आय डोंट थिंक कॉपीराईटचं तुमच्या बेबी फूड, हा आता कॉपीराईट इथे पिक्चर मध्ये कसं येतं, हे खूप डिटेल, म्हणजे हे दिस इज अ व्हेरी लाईक डिटेल स्ट्रॅटेजी अशी होते. जनरली काय असतं की आपण जेव्हा ब्रँड क्रिएट करतो एखादा, सपोज आता ट्रेडमार्क आहे, देर इज अ लेबल कोका कोला आहे, आता या स्लाइड तुम्ही बघताय कोका कोला. ठीक आहे. मग आता ट्रेडमार्कचे पण काही ड्रॉबॅक्स असतात. ट्रेडमार्कचं काय आहे की तुम्हाला पर्टिक्युलर क्लासमध्ये, म्हणजे आता शुगरसाठी मला करायचं आहे तर क्लास 30 चे ऍप्लिकेशन करावे लागेल. तसं तुम्हाला बेबी फूडचा क्लास बघून त्या क्लासमध्ये तुमचं ऍप्लिकेशन फाईल करावं लागेल. ठीक आहे. जो कोणता तुम्ही ट्रेडमार्क किंवा ट्रेड नेम किंवा एखादं लेबल असतं ते सगळं ट्रेडमार्क मध्ये होतं. बट देन यू विल गेट ओनली इन क्लास 30 ऍप्लिकेबल क्लास. ठीक आहे. पण आता मी तुमच्या सारखंच बेबी फूडचं लेबल, सपोज तुम्ही ठेवलं एबीसी बेबी फूड, तर आणि क्लास 30 मध्ये तुम्ही रजिस्टर केलंय. सो आय कॅन कम अप विथ एबीसी ज्यूस अँड आय कॅन रजिस्टर इन एनी अदर क्लास. मग तिथे तुम्ही थांबवू नाही शकत. सो असा ट्रेडमार्कचा एक ड्रॉबॅक असतो. मग काही लोक काय करतात की ट्रेडमार्क सोबत त्याचं कॉपीराईट ऍप्लिकेशन पण फाईल करतात. आणि मग कॉपीराईट तुम्हाला, सो दॅट इज अ गुड स्ट्रॅटेजी टू फाईल ट्रेडमार्क लेबल अँड ऑल्सो कॉपीराईट इट. मग तुम्हाला कॉपीराईट कसं, ते इज नॉट क्लास स्पेसिफिक, तुम्हाला ओव्हरऑल कुठल्याही म्हणजे याच्यासाठी तुम्ही थांबवू शकता. सो असं एक कॉम्बिनेशन, ऍक्च्युली आयपी इज ऑलवेज गो इन कॉम्बिनेशन. द स्ट्रॅटेजी हॅज टू बी डिवाइज्ड की तुम्हाला कुठल्या कुठल्या टाईपचा आयपी प्रॉपर असेल, म्हणजे प्रोसेससाठी वेगळं, प्रोडक्टसाठी वेगळं, ब्रँडसाठी वेगळं असं. तर आणि एक्सपेन्सेस वाईज जर विचार केला तर कॉपीराईट इज व्हेरी चीपर. ट्रेडमार्क इज आय मीन पेटंट्स आर कॉस्टलीएस्ट फॉलोड बाय ट्रेडमार्क्स, कारण ट्रेडमार्कला 10 वर्षानंतर रिन्युअल असतं. फीज इज नॉट मच. डिझाईनला किंवा कॉपीराईट इज हॅज नॉट टू बी रिन्यूड ॲट ऑल. ते तुम्हाला 50-60 वर्ष आरामात वापरता येते. तर तुम्ही असा विचार करून याच्यावर लागतो प्रत्येकाला, आपले ऑब्जेक्टिव्ह, आपले गोल्स, आपली एक्सपेंड करण्याची, हाऊ मच वी कॅन आय मीन स्पेंड ऑन अ पर्टिक्युलर आयपी कॅपॅसिटी. कारण जेवढं तुम्ही स्पेंड कराल तेवढा रॉबस्ट पोर्टफोलिओ तयार होतो. बट देन इट डिपेंड्स की हाऊ मच यू आर रेडी टू स्पेंड ऑन प्रोटेक्टिंग युअर आयपी. ठीक आहे.
मॅम, माझ्या प्रोडक्टचा मी ब्रँड नेम तयार केला आणि त्याचबरोबर मग मी तो कॉपीराईट ट्रेडमार्क करते, तर कॉपीराईट पण करू शकते का त्यासोबत?
येस, हो हो हो, तुम्ही करू शकता. सोबत नाही करू शकत. ऍक्च्युली प्रोसिजर, आणि तुम्ही हे आपलं सिपच्या थ्रू केलं तर तुम्हाला तसं पण इझी पडतं. तर काय असतं की तुम्हाला एक एनओसी देतं ट्रेडमार्क ऑफिस, एक पर्टिक्युलर फॉर्म असतो, तो ट्रेडमार्क की फायलिंग कॉपीराईटसाठी ते सर्च करून एनओसी देतात ट्रेडमार्क ऑफिस. ठीक आहे. म्हणजे तुम्ही ट्रेडमार्क फाईल केला आहे ना, मग तुम्हाला तो एनओसी आणि एक फॉर्म कॉपीराईट ऑफिसला हे करायचा, सबमिट करायचा आणि यू कॅन गेट इट. तुम्ही करू शकता दोन्ही एकत्र, नो इश्यू.
थँक्यू मॅम.
So I'll move ahead with this thing. Now,
Yes. Yes, madam. Chaliye.
Yes.
So sir, abhi return on invention, like how IP gets, how can we convert our IP asset into IP into valuable asset? That is invention or return on an idea. So कसं यूज करू शकतो आपण ते, आय मीन खूप ऐकतो आपण की इंटेलेक्च्युअल प्रॉपर्टी असायला पाहिजे, पोर्टफोलिओ असायला पाहिजे आणि त्याच्यासाठी आपण खूप त्रास पण घेऊ, तो तयार पण करू, पण त्याचा फायदा काय? सो फायदा असा की आजचं तुम्हाला माहिती आहे की बिझनेस एन्व्हायरमेंट इज व्हेरी डायनॅमिक. कधी कोणी येऊन तुम्हाला कशासाठी थांबवू शकतो. सो द फर्स्ट अँड मोस्ट biggest advantage of having the IP in place is using it for self, for your business, for freedom to operate. Like freedom to operate म्हणजे तुम्हाला तुमचं जर रजिस्टर्ड आयपी आहे तर तुमच्याकडे सर्टिफिकेट आहे, आय मीन यू हॅव द, वी आर द ओनर ऑफ दॅट थिंग अँड नो थर्ड पार्टी कॅन कम इन द मार्केट, कम अँड सू यू, टेक यू टू द कोर्ट ऑफ लॉ. कारण ट्रेडमार्क मध्ये किंवा पेटंट्स मध्ये दिस थिंग्स हॅपन की आपल्याला माहितीच नसतं, आपण ते प्रोडक्ट लॉन्च पण करून टाकतो आणि आपण बिझनेस जनरेट पण करतो आणि मग असं कळतं की ओके इट वॉज ऑलरेडी एक्झिस्टिंग, कोणाच्या तरी ते लक्षात येतं आणि ते केस फाईल करतात. तर या गोष्टी टाळण्यासाठी these things get avoided when you have a proper IP in place. So freedom to operate. Don't you think it is very important to work with a free mind in the market? I mean counterfeiting जे होतं किंवा इन्फ्रिंजमेंट जे होतं त्या केसेस तुमच्यावर फाईल होत नाही. पहिली गोष्ट. ठीक आहे. म्हणजे आज फ्रीडम टू ऑपरेट एक सर्च टाईप आहे की तुम्ही सर्च केला आणि तुम्हाला कळलं की ओके मार्केटमध्ये असं दुसरं काही नाहीये, मी करते माझा बिझनेस. तर तुम्ही तो केला. पण काय झालं की 2 वर्षानंतर कोणीतरी त्याच्यावर सिमिलर काइंड ऑफ एक्झॅक्टली तर नाही मिळणार पण सिमिलर काइंड ऑफ पेटंट मिळालं किंवा असं मिळालं तर दे कॅन ऑलवेज कम बॅक अँड सू यू. सो टू वर्क इन विथ अ रिलॅक्स स्टेट ऑफ माइंड, टू हॅव अ गुड फ्रीडम टू ऑपरेट, IP हॅज टू बी इन प्लेस. तुम्ही ट्रेड सिक्रेट म्हणून जरी ठेवलं तरी चालेल, बट इट हॅज टू बी इन प्लेस. मग तुम्ही कुठेच ते डिस्क्लोज करू नका. देन इट रिड्युसेस द रिस्क. हीच रिस्क की सम थर्ड पार्टी कॅन कम अँड सू यू की नाही आता मला तुम्ही हे थांबवा आणि मला माझे डॅमेजेस द्या. So that risk is reduced, and then of course it increases the barrier for competition. Because you have monopoly on your own product, no one else can come and copy it. ठीक आहे. So direct competition तुम्हाला ऑफिशियल नाही मिळत त्याच्यामध्ये. And of course when you have the IP certifications in place, or if you have a non-registered IP also, a standard protocol for non-registered IP as well, it definitely will increase the respect of your enterprise, and it will increase the company valuation as you move ahead to the next levels of business. Now, हा असा ऑर्गॅनिक अप्रोच आहे. ऑर्गॅनिक अप्रोच म्हणजे कन्व्हेन्शनल यूज असतो इंटेलेक्च्युअल प्रॉपर्टीचा, हा तर असतो. बट इफ यू आर स्मार्ट इनफ, if you have the entrepreneurial mindset, skill set, you can also think about the other options available. So what are these options? So you can always, license it out. आता लायसन्स घेताना कोणी पण काय बघेल की समजा त्यांनी एक्सक्लुझिव्ह लायसन्स घेतलं, सो द थिंग हॅज टू हॅव दॅट काइंड ऑफ जसं एक हे असतं, तुम्ही एखादा प्लॉट विकताय तर त्याचे सगळे डॉक्युमेंट्स क्लिअर असतील तर डेफिनेटली इट विल फेच मोर व्हॅल्यू इन द मार्केट. तसंच त्या प्रोसेसचं आहे की कुठला पण इन्व्हेस्टर काय बघेल की ओके ह्या प्रोडक्टचं सगळं म्हणजे तिसरी पार्टी येऊन याच्यावर काही नाही करणार. सो दॅट काइंड ऑफ licensing deals you can crack if you have good type of your IP. Then there's one thing called enforced licensing. आता समजा जसं आपण मगाशी तो एक डिस्कस केली मशीन, वॉटर मेकर मशीन. आता वॉटर मेकर मशीन तुम्ही बनवला and you launched in the market, you good clients, good business. Okay. आणि मग कोणाच्या तरी लक्षात आलं की अरे असं सिमिलर तर this is something similar which I have already patented. Then that person can come to you. आता कसं आहे कोणी कोर्ट ऑफ लॉ मध्ये जाणं प्रिफर नाही करणार समजा, बिकॉज देर इज नो यूज, व्हेरी टाइम कन्झ्युम, very intense expenditure, everything. So that person will come to you and what he can say ki okay tu ha manufacture kartoch hai na, then take my license. So this is enforced licensing. You need to pay some royalty to that. You can continue with your business, but you will have to pay some kind of royalty or some kind of, so that is that type of deal is called enforced licensing. And then cross licensing म्हणजे आता suppose if you consider from creation to commercialization stage, there are various stages, various people involved. आणि एक startup किंवा एक individual cannot take care of all the stages involved in the value chain of business creation. So you need to find out the cross licensing model always. म्हणजे तुम्ही फक्त एक बेबी फूडचा एक पर्टिक्युलर जो चांगला कंपोनेंट आहे तो बनवला आणि you keep it as a secret and you supply it to someone, some big player in the market who can use that thing. So this is B2B, जसं मी मगाशी सांगितलं, business to business. You don't intend to go directly to the consumers. In between only you are taking the exit, you are selling a particular component to the big player in the market. So these are called cross licensing models. These also is a good strategy to leverage your IP. इथे मी डॉल्बी आणि सेमीकंडक्टरचं एक्झाम्पल दिलं आहे की डॉल्बी वी ऑल नो, बट डॉल्बी स्वतः काही बनवत नाही, दे जस्ट आउटसोर्स देअर टेक्नॉलॉजी आणि दुसरेच लोक बनवून त्यांचा ब्रँड नेम यूज करून दे डू नॉट वेंचर इन टू आउटसोर्सिंग किंवा सेमी कंडक्टर्स असतात बघा. आपण आता डिझाईन हे केली, एखादं डिझाईन प्रोटोटाईप बनवलं अँड जसं सेमी कंडक्टर्स लोक बनवतात ऑन पेपर अँड देन दे सेल इट ऑफ टू द मे बी मोबाईल फोन्स ऑर टॅबलेट्स ऑर बॅटरी वॉट एव्हर. दे डू नॉट वेंचर इन टू manufacturing that thing themselves. These type of strategies also we can play around with if you have a good IP portfolio or robust IP portfolio in place, even if you are a startup. This is everything related to startup perspective. I'm telling, don't think that this is a very initial stage for me and these are things may not be relevant, these are not relevant for me, but these things are relevant, these things are important, even if everything is on the paper and you want to expand further. So you need to, the founders have to be very well aware of all these facts. Now this cross licensing, I just thought it would be interesting. You can see here this patent inventor licensed the system to Coca-Cola, the can opening system, and he did, like, what else he could have done with it, no? But he got the idea, he created the can opening system, and then he found a very big player in the market, and he has generated lots of revenue till he had monopoly over his patent. So these type of models are working in today's business environment. Yeah. So again, I thought it would be interesting to know what would be the, if you want to go out and invite some investors to invest in your startup, so what he would look for, what would be his interest, the visibility, because initial stage he would be interested in the idea or whatever is promising he can invest. But if you want to go for invite investors few years down the line, what he would the visibility which can be created by having a good brand name, a good social media presence or whatever is relevant for creating a visibility, then definitely comes in picture is the robust IP portfolio. As I told earlier, I am giving much emphasis on this thing. It consists of the non-registered IP and well, even if you don't want to go for non-registered IP, please be sure, please make sure that you have a SOP for the non-registered intellectual property devices such as the NDAs or non-disclosure or whatever. Okay. Then the timeline of protection. The investor would see, okay, a good patent application is there. आता 10 वर्ष ऑलरेडी झाले आहेत ते पेटंट फाईल करण्यापासून. तो ही वुड से ओके, सो आय हॅव मोनोपोली ऑफ 10 years ओनली असं. तर इन दॅट केस एक अजून एक कन्सेप्ट आहे, ऑफकोर्स आय विल नॉट गो इन डिटेल ऑफ दॅट, द व्हॅल्यू ऍडिशन. म्हणजे एक पेटंट एक्सपायर होत आलं की आपण त्याचा ब्रँड फाईल करतो आणि मग तो असं, सो व्हॅल्यू ऍडिशन करत जायचं त्या प्रोडक्ट आणि प्रोसेसचं. सो द टाइमलाईन ऑफ your monopoly on the process or the product increases, and that is what something of much interest to the investors. आता 2 वर्षानंतर तुमच्याकडे काहीच नाहीये सपोज फ्रॉम आयपी पॉइंट ऑफ व्ह्यू, तो ही कॅन सी की ओके 1-2 वर्षात anyone can come and so many other players would be there in the market. Similar product लोक बनवायला लागतील कारण मी कोणाला थांबवू नाही शकणार. So I won't have much interest in this because it does not offer me a good timeline to leverage the business idea. So म्हणून IP protected असणं या दृष्टीने खूप गरजेचं आहे. Then comes the next point is multi-dimensional 360-degree coverage. मगाशी मी जी एक स्लाइड दाखवली, not a single type of IP gives a 360-degree coverage. So तुम्हाला commercial terms मध्ये how important is it तो विचार करून, सपोज तुमचा जर बेबी फूडचा फॉर्म्युला आहे, पण उद्या जाऊन तुम्हाला अगेन यू नीड टू एक त्याच्यातनं तुम्हाला थोडंसं अजून एक्सपांड करायचं आहे आणि सम प्रोटीन सप्लिमेंट यू आर मेकिंग और सम अदर रिलेटेड थिंग, बट यू हॅव युअर ट्रेडमार्क फाइल्ड ओनली इन पर्टिक्युलर क्लास फॉर बेबी फूड, तर मग तिथे तुमचं लिमिटेशन येऊ शकतं. सो किंवा पेटंटमध्ये ऑफकोर्स यू कॅन फाईल ॲट दॅट टाइम फॉर ट्रेडमार्क, पण कोणी अजून ऑलरेडी फाईल केलेलं असेल तर यू विल लूज द फर्स्ट फायलर ऍडव्हान्टेज. तर दिस 360-degree कव्हरेज ऑल्सो वुड बी सीन बाय द इन्व्हेस्टर, की त्याला मला उद्या जाऊन याच्यात मी हे बनवू शकतो, पण या सेगमेंट मधली आयपी माझ्याकडे या लोकांकडे नाहीये, तो दॅट कॅन बी अ लिमिटेशन. आणि या प्रत्येक गोष्टी अनालिसिस करून ऍक्च्युअली अ स्टार्टअप इज व्हॅल्यूड. Okay, and the scope of protection. Scope of protection again, तुमचा process, product, then your brand. तर तुम्ही किती जास्त त्याला म्हणजे हे केलेलं आहे की आता मला आज माझ्याकडे पेटंट आहे वॉटर मेकरचं, बट दॅट सेम आरो टेक्नॉलॉजी इफ आय कॅन यूज फॉर सम वेल, सो दॅट क्लेम यू नीड टू इन्क्लूड पेटंट ऍप्लिकेशन, की उद्या जाऊन मला त्याच्याशी रिलेटेड दुसरं पण काहीतरी बनवता असं. हा जो एक I mean a broad coverage of your patent application. Particularly, this is applicable to patents. Trademark class wise you can increase the scope, but that involves expenditure. पण patent मध्ये कसं असतं, एकाच patent मध्ये तुम्ही you can increase the breadth. Same expenditure मध्ये you can have a wide coverage. So this is from investors' interest. This I already covered. And the Biodiversity Act, because I could see. Now I'll come to the bio. I'll just quickly run through because I'm not sure how much time is there.
Ma'am, you can take your time.
So I will now come because I could see someone is working with tamarind, someone is working with seaweed, and someone is like degossypilized cotton. Some bioresource based startups are also there. So I just thought that maybe I'll give a brief understanding of the Biodiversity Act 2002, because this is coming in picture like anything. It goes in hand with IP, and particularly it is a bit cumbersome for multinational agencies, but for an Indian entity also there are some which are applicable. So I will go through the this slide covers the structure, like at the national level, National Biodiversity Authority is there. And if the startup, suppose today you are a startup, tomorrow you become a company which has some foreign investment in your shareholding, or you have some foreign director or something. So when you have foreign component in your shareholding or your board of directors, then you go under the purview of the first stage, that is a national NBA, National Biodiversity Authority. But at the stage when you do not have any such thing, you are an Indian entity with completely Indian investment, then the State Biodiversity Board is the ministry or is the department under which your thing will go. And the third stage is the BMC, the Biodiversity Management Committee, that is not of much relevance from today's point of view. So the startups SBB, that is State Biodiversity Board, head office or the office is located at Nagpur, our Maharashtra state. Okay, now when we talk about any act, we have to be very wise, we have to be very aware, because there's no point in entering in falling under the trap of the act, because as from my experience, what I have understood is you can enter the NBA, but there's no exit. What you have to do is you have to go on sharing your royalties and your business updates. You need to keep on. So what I would suggest is, I mean, I will come to this in the later slides also, but there are certain exclusions available under the Act. When we talk about an Indian entity, any Indian citizen or entity accessing bioresource for research is exempted. Okay, so that is a big relief, because for the company, at least for which I work, we have foreign investment, we have foreign directors, and we have to take India's approval for carrying out research also. I mean, commercial utilization as well as research utilization of any bioresource. So you can think how stringent it is becoming NBA from such companies' point of view. And in today's time, big companies generally have foreign investment or foreign directors in the board of directors. So that is a big relief that the Indian entities. So if you people are aiming for some research using the bioresource, exempted from the Act. Okay, but and also the normally traded commodities. There is some list of 385 plant species. If you are using them, you do not come under this Biodiversity Act. But having said this, let me tell you that the NBA, as an Indian entity, when you are using a bioresource for commercial utilization, you do fall under the you do fall under the NBA. You do need to inform the NBA. So there are different procedures for when you fall under NBA, the procedure is different. And when you fall under the State Biodiversity Board, the procedure is different. Now, I do not want to complicate things here. I don't want to discourage people who are working with the bioresource, because for Indian entities, the process is a bit simpler. I'm telling all these things just to make you aware of the facts and the factual things here. Now, the exclusions we have seen. Now, it is also important to understand the definitions. Biological resource. तर तुम्ही जे यूज करता आहे ते एक्झॅक्टली बायोलॉजिकल रिसोर्स आहे का ते तुम्ही तुमच्या एंडला, बिकॉज ऍज आय टोल्ड यू देर इज नो पॉइंट इन जेवढं तुम्हाला याच्यापासून the more you would be able to circumvent, the more better it will be for you. So exactly whether it is a biological resource that you need to confirm. Then the end use of commercial utilization. Current bioresource definition. If you go,
can I interrupt?
Yeah.
Ravi, can I interrupt?
Yeah, sure.
Ma'am, what if we use from our land only, or this biological researcher? Say, if we grow in our land and if we use, then it is the problem. Means we will not use the government land or forest.
Correct.
What if we only grow and use it? Then only it comes under that act.
So actually, जेव्हा हे, I mean, in the initial stages of implementation, when there was not much awareness, we also thought, कारण आता मी आमच्या कंपनीचं जर एक्झाम्पल दिलं.
Ma'am, the person who is asking the question is from Karnataka. He might not be able to get the Marathi.
Okay, fine.
Yes.
Okay.
I can little bit understand.
No, it's all right. It's all right. I'm comfortable with English also. No issue. What I was trying to tell was that in the initial stages of implementation of this act, when the companies were not very aware, everyone thought what we are discussing now, okay, this is my own homegrown bioresource, and then why I need to take how NBA comes in picture. It is neither an endangered species, neither it is going to get extinct. So that is actually, I will because when a case-based example I can give from my own experience. Our company is manufacturing biochemicals, and it is ethanol, etc., from sugarcane, which is grown in our farms only. Okay. So we were under the impression that okay, and sugarcane is not it is also included in the commodities which has been exempted from this thing. As I told, this normally traded list of normally traded commodities, sugarcane is included. So we were under the impression that okay, we do not fall under the purview of the NBA Act. But as we went to Chennai and met the NBA people, and we discussed, and they said ki no matter, but whatever is there, even if it is if it is a bioresource, and if you're using it for research, or if it falls in the definition of bioresource. So that is what I told, biological definition of biological resource becomes important. So if it falls in the definition, and if you're using it for commercial, need to take. So now in our case, we had to take prior approval. So that is more tedious, because prior approval, then you wait for NBA's approval. You cannot just sit like idle. But as I told, for an Indian entity, the procedure is you need to intimate your state biodiversity to that you are using this kind of bioresource, and let them take a call. That is whether you need whether you need to share. The next step is more, painful, because you need to share the benefit which you create through the commercial transactions. And that is, first strategy would be to completely circumvent. You be aware of the act. You try to figure out how you can circumvent the act so that you need not go into the benefit sharing component. So you can maybe take guidance from your state biodiversity board. You can very well go to the website. There would be some phone numbers or something would be given over there. And you can just off the record, you can ask them, if I plan to do this, Should I apply? Should I intimate? Because in your case, you do not need prior approval. You need to intimate your state biodiversity board. Intimate as in you are using this. Then they will ask for the factual data. How much you would be using from here, be collecting, and they will pose those questions. So all these things happen when you deal with the Biodiversity Act. So these definitions, if you critically go through, you will get to know whether you fall under the NBA. And I would suggest better to keep, stay away from the act, better to circumvent the act. Suppose you're using, because value-added products are exempted from the NBA's purview. So what exactly is a value-added product? Which contains portions or extracts of plants and animals in unrecognizable or physically inseparable form, like that. So if your thing falls under the value-added product, please ignore the act and carry on with your business. So that awareness has to be there. Okay. So these are the important definitions. Okay. And when you're trying to file a patent application, yeah. So these section 6, I already told you about section 7. I'll just read out the text if you can see it here. No person who is a citizen of India shall obtain any biological resource for commercial utilization or biosurvey and bioutilization except after giving prior the state biodiversity board concern. So you need to give prior intimation. So if you really fall under the act, better to be compliant, because the provision, the consequences of non-compliance under section 7, as you can see here, is imprisonment of 3 years or fine extends to 5 lakh rupees. So this is there, but of course the offense is cognizable and non-bailable also as written in the act. So it becomes important to please verify if the bioresource which you want to use for commercial utilization falls under purview of the Biodiversity Act. So it as a startup founder, you have to be aware of all the things which would be relevant from your business point of view. And of course, you also have to have the knowledge if you can circumvent these acts or compliances. But if it is very important, please go for it, get the compliance, and then carry on with your business like that. So this is section 7, and section 6 of the act is applicable for both, like a foreign entity, like Indian MNC or a startup or whoever, because section 6 is if you want to file a patent application for whose subject matter is a bioresource, then you in Form 3 to the National Biodiversity Authority. So if you want to file a patent application, then this added these things get added as well. So this is it section, and this is okay. And I just try to make it more in terms of understanding, to make it more clear. I say under section 7 there is a case law. Like section 3, I will not go in detail of section 3 because that is that covers the foreign component people. But section 7, Ruchi Soya, from here you can understand. Ruchi Soya is a well-known brand in soybean oil from Madhya Pradesh based company. They buy a soybean from the market and uses it to make soya oil and sell it. So they are using soybean, which is normally available commodity, for commercial utilization. Okay, but it is a bioresource because it is grown in the field. So when Madhya Pradesh State Biodiversity Board found out that about Ruchi soil, they asked them to pay the royalty for having commercialized a bioresource. Okay, but it is very unjustified actually. Why the company should pay the royalty when they are using very commonly available. So the company owners had to go to the NGT, and the NGT ruled in favor of the company. So these things are still evolving in NBA. So you have to be aware and you have to keep an eye on the happenings. So this was the case law example under section 7, where a very common bioresource was used. Okay, so I think that brings me to the end of the presentation. And as a startup founder, what you have to be very vigilant about is monitoring, managing, and evolving. and all the best to your further startup journey. Thank you so much. Now, if anyone has any questions, or I would be happy to.
Yes. Thank you, madam. Yes, anybody is having any questions?
Ma'am, I have one question.
Yeah.
Yes.
While applying patent, what is the difference if we apply directly or if we apply through agencies? Is there any difference?
Sir, I would I will try to tell you from an example. Suppose if you want to file a case in court of law, okay, why you would hire an attorney? Because the attorney knows the near present your case, how to make it strong, how to make it techno-legal. Like patent is a techno-legal document, so there is technology involved, as well as there is this involved. I mean, legal terms, legalities, because all type of claims are not acceptable in all jurisdictions. If you are filing for Indian patent, certain use claims are not allowed. Then there would be Section 3. The claim should not fall under Section 3. So these legalities are involved in filing a patent application. It is not that you cannot file a patent application on your own, but quality of that patent application, because ultimate coverage, what you will get through a patent which has been filed by a layman, would be very average. When you consider, when we involve some attorney who has no skill of drafting, and he would definitely make it broader, he would definitely make the claim stronger, he would incorporate the data which would help your claims to sustain, that background data, like that. But finally you have to take a call. If it is commercial, you feel in commercial terms it may become important, you would like to make the patent strong, and then you go for an attorney. And if you like, it is the call you need to take. The quality of the patent would be very different, because it is a complex techno-legal document. I mean, if you feel that you can do justice, then you can always go ahead. There's no such compulsion from the patent office that it has to be filed through an attorney.
Okay, Ravi Shankar ji, is it clear?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Yes. Mr. Pardhi. Mr. Pardhi.
Yeah, one point I would like to add here is if you are thinking the attorney cost may get added, then you can always, that SIP I told you that there is no professional fees involved, and still you can get someone who is experienced in drafting the patent free of cost. So why you would not go for that thing?
Okay. Mr. Pardhi.
Yes. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. तुमची कन्सेप्ट थोडक्यात मॅडम ना सांगा, आणखी विचारा पेटंटेबल आहे का.
एक मिनिट सर. हॅलो सर.
येस.
बोला.
Hello, Rohini
sir,
madam, on their behalf, let me just share their concept with you. They have developed jamun tissue culture. Okay.
Yes, I
So,
just went through it,
yes,
and they would
so-
like to distribute those plants and create jamun hubs.
Yes. So, what do you think? Is it patentable?
Uh,
Because for now, he is claiming that in market, no jamun tissue cultures are available. All
Okay. So,
yes.
Yeah, I got. आता कसं आहे माहितीये, पेटंट वेन आपण जेव्हा पेटंट बद्दल बोलतो, तर पेटंटचे मी तुम्हाला 3 क्रायटेरिया सांगितले. नॉवेल्टी पाहिजे, देन त्याची नॉन ऑब्वियस पाहिजे, आणि इंडस्ट्रियली ऍप्लिकेबल पाहिजे. ठीक आहे. पण आपल्याकडे टिश्यू कल्चर किंवा प्लांट व्हरायटी ऑर दिस थिंग, याच्यासाठी वेगळा ऍक्ट आहे, PVP अँड FR, प्लांट व्हरायटी प्रोटेक्शन अँड फार्मर्स राईट ऍक्ट. सो तो एक वेगळा डोमेन आहे, टोटली
Okay.
डिफरंट. तर मला असं वाटतं या केसमध्ये आयपी स्ट्रॅटेजी डेव्हलप जर तुम्हाला करायची आहे, तर टिश्यू कल्चर कम्प्लायन्सेस जे काय असतील ते तुम्हाला लागणार पूर्ण टोटल, आणि एक गुड मार्केट बेस्ड मार्केटिंग ऑफ इट. आय मीन
Yes.
पेटंट इन दिस केस विल neither it is patentable.
Yes, it is not patentable. Yeah.
सो यू कॅन थिंक ऑफ आय मीन PPVFR तुम्हाला म्हणजे टिश्यू कल्चर साठी जे कंप्लायन्स आहे ते हे पाहिजे आणि देन युअर कस्टमर बेस.
Okay, Hemant, now time is over.
Yes, sir.
वन क्वेश्चन रोहिणी मॅडम. मुझे एक बताइए की जसं आमची प्रज्ञा राणे आहे, तिने एक फोर्टिफाईड मिक्सचर बनवलं आहे बेबी फूड. शी हॅज इफ शी हॅज पेटंटेड इट and if tomorrow she finds some new ingredient, new some molecule and she adds to that formulation, existing formulation, so whether she has to again go for a fresh patent or can she modify her earlier patent and add to that?
आता कसं आहे की these things go on evolving. म्हणजे तुम्ही एक फॉर्म्युला बनवला आणि तोच तुम्ही कंटिन्युअस यू ऑलवेज गो ऑन R&D आणि तुम्ही ते ऑप्टिमाइज कराल, चांगलं बनवाल. These efforts go in continuous manner. So एक पेटंट तुम्ही फाईल केलं आणि इफ सम इन्व्हेंटिव्ह स्टेप, सबस्टॅन्शियल जर इन्व्हेंटिव्ह स्टेप असेल की त्याच्यामुळे खूपच फरक पडतोय क्वालिटीमध्ये आणि प्रोसेसमध्ये, देन इट इज ऍडवायजेबल टू गो फॉर अ फ्रेश पेटंट बिकॉज दॅट वुड क्वालिफाय एज अ इन्व्हेंटिव्ह स्टेप. आणि त्याचं तुम्हाला प्रोटेक्शन मिळेल ना. म्हणजे स्ट्रॅटेजी कशी आहे की आज मी पेटंट फाईल केलं, त्याचं प्रोटेक्शन 20 वर्ष, ठीक आहे, डेट ऑफ फायलिंग कधी ग्रांट हो. मग त्याच्या 4 वर्षानंतर जर तुम्ही दुसरं फाईल केलं सो दॅट प्रोडक्ट वुड बी कवर्ड फॉर 4 years फर्दर डाऊन द लाईन.
ओके.
सो जर मग ती इन्व्हेंटिव्ह स्टेप सबस्टॅन्शियल असेल तर इट इज ऍडवायजेबल टू गो फॉर अ फ्रेश पेटंट. जर एक थोडंसं मॉडिफिकेशन असेल की ज्याने ती ऑप्टिमाइज झाली आहे प्रोसेस, तर एक प्रोव्हिजन आपली आहे पेटंट ऑफ ऍडिशनची याच्यामध्ये, पेटंट ऑफिस पेटंट ऍक्ट मध्ये यू कॅन ऑलवेज फाईल त्याच प्रायोरिटीला तुम्हाला त्याच पेटंटला ऍडिशन म्हणून एक सप्लिमेंटरी पेटंट फाईल करता येतं.
ओके, थँक्यू. देर इज वन क्वेश्चन इन चॅट बॉक्स. हेमंत,
Hemant, you would be reading it out?
Yes. Just a second.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes. What are the basic documents required for filing patent and design?
अच्छा. So let me for design च्या जास्त formalities नाहीये. Neither many forms are there. So it is very simple. Design office ची वेबसाईट आहे. Everything is available. Patent चं थोडंसं कॉम्प्लिकेटेड असतं कारण इट इज फाइल्ड. ठीक आहे. सो फॉर्म्स जे आहेत त्या पण मग स्टेज वाईज वेगळे होतात. सपोज ऍट द फायलिंग स्टेज इफ यू आर गोइंग फॉर प्रोव्हिजनल ऍप्लिकेशन देन यू नीड टू फाईल फॉर्म 1 अँड फॉर्म 2. ठीक आहे. हे 2 फॉर्म असतात. प्लस स्टार्टअपची जी काय फीज असेल 1600 रुपये आहे ती फॉर अ स्टार्टअप. सो फॉर्म 1 बेसिकली हॅज ऑल द इन्व्हेंटर डिटेल्स, ऍड्रेसेस आणि म्हणजे आपण ज्याला बिब्लिओग्राफी म्हणू की त्यात सगळे डिटेल असतात, ऑफिशियल ऍडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव्ह डिटेल्स. आणि फॉर्म 2 जो असतो दॅट कव्हर्स युअर ऍक्च्युअल इन्व्हेन्शन. ठीक आहे, प्रोव्हिजनल मध्ये. मग 1 वर्षानंतर तुम्हाला जेव्हा कम्प्लीट स्पेसिफिकेशन फाईल करायचं असतात त्यावेळेला तुम्हाला फक्त फॉर्म 2 फाईल करायचा असतो परत. पण अलॉंग विथ द क्लेम्स म्हणजे मग ऍक्च्युअल तुम्हाला 1 वर्षाच्या टाइम मध्ये तुम्ही डिफाईन करता की सपोज क्लेम्स म्हणजे काय की एक्झॅक्ट बाउंड्री ऑफ युअर प्रोडक्ट ऑर प्रोसेस, की मला माझी प्रोसेस आहे A plus B in this ratio has been mixed, it has been processed for 10 minutes in this temperature आणि ही मशीन, म्हणजे हे सगळे डिटेल्स आहेत जे तुम्हाला कवर्ड पाहिजे, मोनोपोली ज्याच्यावर पाहिजे ते फॉर्म 2. आणि मग सबसिक्वेंटली यू नीड टू फाईल रिक्वेस्ट फॉर एक्झामिनेशन फॉर्म. हे 3 मेजर फॉर्म्स आहेत इन पेटंट प्रोसिक्युशन.
ओके.
सर मुझे भी क्वेश्चन था.
Yes.
हेलो.
Yes.
हाँ, अरविंद बोल रहा हूँ.
Yes.
मैडम आता
Hemant.
Yes, sir.
This is last question because time is over.
Yes.
This is the last question.
Okay.
मॅडम मी समजा पेटंटला ऍप्लिकेशन केलेलं आहे आणि मीन वाईल मध्ये आता कसं माझं मरीन प्रोडक्ट आहे, तर देर आर द मरीन प्रोडक्ट मध्ये बाकीचे पण म्हणजे प्रोडक्ट काय म्हणू शकतो की प्रोडक्ट सर्टिफिकेशन्स असतात. फॉर एक्झाम्पल IRS, तर DNV वगैरे जे असतात त्या, तर त्याला पण आपण अप्लाय करू शकतो.
मरीन प्रोडक्ट हे बघा कसं माहितीये आता, इज इट लाईक द सीवीड स्टार्टअप? सीवीडचं आहे काय तुमचं?
हे वॉटर आहे.
This one is water maker.
वॉटर मेकर.
ओके, वॉटर मेकर. हा, वॉटर मेकर ना. ओके, कसं आहे माहितीये, पेटंट ऍप्लिकेशन, पेटंट ऑफिस विल नॉट सी वेदर यू आर कंप्लायंट विथ ऑल अदर whether you are up to date with all other certifications. पेटंट साठी
अच्छा.
त्याची गरज नाही. पेटंट ऑफिस विल ओनली लुक आउट फॉर द पेटंटेबिलिटी थ्रेशोल्ड, नॉवेल्टी, त्यांचं तेवढंच काम आहे असं तुम्ही कन्सिडर करा की
Yes, yes.
देन इट इज अप टू यू. तुम्हाला ते कमर्शियलाइज करायचं आहे, मग तुम्हाला ते पेटंट ऑफिस whether all other compliances except for biodiversity. हे एनबीएचं जे कम्प्लायन्स आहे इट गोज थ्रू पेटंट ऑफिस. पण बाकी जे कम्प्लायन्सेस आहेत as you were telling, these are not required from getting a patent. That point of view it is not required. It is up to you. तुम्ही तुमचं बघा, ते पेटंट ऑफिसचं असं म्हणणं आहे, तुम्हाला जर ते कमर्शियलाइज करायचं आहे तर नॅचरली यू विल गेट ऑल द कम्प्लायन्सेस असं. बट पेटंट यू कॅन ऑलवेज फाईल.
ठीक आहे.
Okay, thank you.
It is independent of all other compliances.
Yes. That has no relation with the patent. जो मैडम बोले threshold, patent threshold होना चाहिए, industrial application होना चाहिए, novelty होना चाहिए.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. That
Okay, now we came to end our lecture. Very nice lecture, madam. Rohini madam.
thank you, sir.
And at the outset, I thanks to our director, madam, who has give us opportunity to conduct such type of lecture, series of lecture. Rohini madam is working with me very long period of time. We have worked for this patent, all these things, very ITMU, under ITM for long period of time. Today it is my pleasure that she is giving lecture, and she is in a very good reputed organization, and she accept our invitation to deliver the lecture for our startups. We are thanking to their organization as well as to her also, and thankful to those who are participants and give their valuable time for this lecture. Okay, thanks and good day, great day. Any announcement? Any
Yes,
announcement?
sir, just a minute. All participants, please start your video. So we'll have a screenshot.
Yes, yes, very good.
Meanwhile,
Yes.
let me also tell you that it was a pleasure on my part to address such a diverse gathering, and you people were very interactive. And I also thank Sujata ma'am and Ashok sir and Prachi ma'am for letting me address this platform and share my thoughts and views on. I hope it has been of some use to you all. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you so much, madam.
Very proud of you, Rohini. Very proud of you. Very good lecture delivered by you.
Thank you so
Yes.
much.
Very
Ma'am,
elaborate.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
And there
Very
is
good lecture by Rohini.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
yes, and there is one announcement for all third court startups that your first rehearsal presentations will be on Monday. So be prepared for that. Okay. Okay. So thank you, Rohini madam. Thank
Thank
you
you
all.
so much.
Yes, thank
Okay,
you.
now
Have a nice
please,
day. Thank you, sir.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
thanks a
Bye-bye.
lot.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye.